Okay, on the bench today, out of a 2010 Nissan Pathfinder with a 4.0, we have the RE5RO5A. This, of course, being out of a Pathfinder, is a four-wheel drive. We got 128,000 miles on the clock. So what's going on with this? I get a call from my wholesale account, and apparently he came recommended, the client came recommended to him for a transmission problem, scanned the car, and he had the P1757 code, typical front brake solenoid code. All right, so he called me and he said, he asked me, what can we do with this? I says, well, it's very possible we could just get away with doing a valve body. I said, but you got to pull the stick out and just make sure there is no water in the transmission. As long as there is no water, no hint of water or a scent of water, I said, we can go ahead and, we'll check it out. I said, I like to check it out for myself, but we could just put a valve body in it. So he calls me up probably half an hour later, and he said, I pulled the stick out, and it looks like a chocolate milkshake, meaning the fluid is probably burnt. I said, it should look like a strawberry milkshake, but he says, no, the fluid's dark, so, and there is definitely water in the transmission. I said, okay, well, we got to do an overhaul. I would not recommend doing just the valve body unless the customer wants to. You're going to have to do a radiator too. But once the water gets in, it's basically a time bomb. So I would recommend doing it now if he plans on keeping this car or whatever the case might be. So we got the okay to do the transmission. Here it is. We're going to open it up. The transmission is full of water, as you will see when we take this apart. So the valve body and / computer or / TCM I have coming from the company that I use called RE5RO5A in Michigan. So I call them up with the VIN number. They program the valve body and ship it out to me, and then I give them this one back as a core. So I don't have to worry about the valve body when I get it. I just drop it right in and it's good to go. So we're going to open this up. I have my banner kit so far. There is a band, there is an updated snap ring, which I'll probably be getting tomorrow, but so far all I have is the banner kit, and there's also a couple of molded pistons in that as well. So I was going to, just to save a little time, maybe pull the bell housing off, pull the extension housing off, because I'm running a little bit behind. But I didn't want to, only because as we get a little closer, we have different bolts in here. And we've seen this on like Toyotas, like on the U140s, I'm sorry, maybe the U660s. There's different bolts that they want torqued down to a different foot-pound, lighter than normal, because they think that it may distort the case. So we have 3 different ones here. You'll see these have Loctite on them, and these will not. There's a couple in the back also. I have the bolts loose in the back on the outside, and on the inside we'll just zip them out, but there's bolts like that on the back as well. So let's start by taking this off, the extension housing. I could probably pull the pump out, and then we can flip it, get the pan down, the valve body out. We're just going to put the valve body aside. I'll drain it as best I can. But this transmission basically, as you will see, I don't think it was drained. I don't think it was. So I have a special bucket, because the regular oil, the good waste oil we put into our waste oil heaters, this I can't put into my waste oil heater. So I'm just going to drain this into a bucket, and when they come to take the water, when the waste oil company comes to take the water out of our wash tank, I will let him take this as well. All right, so let me get a little closer, and we'll just start the teardown process. Yeah, it should go fairly quick, just kind of pull everything out, and I'll go over it. We'll look at the clutches, take a look at the pump, but main problem with this is water. All right, so let's get the bell housing bolts out. First, let's get these out, the shinier bolts. They should come right out, no problem. There shouldn't be any Loctite on those at all. Okay, so that's what they look like. All right, right, now we're going to have these three, which are going to be a little tougher to come out because they are Loctited. All right, so you can see the Loctite on the bolt there, and of course this doesn't have any. All right, so let's get rid of the bell housing. Let me just put this over here. Somebody's blocking traffic. All right, might as well just take these pump bolts out. They're all the same. All right. Pump bolts out. Take the O-ring out for the lockup. You know, once the water gets in the unit, it actually melts the glue that holds the clutches to the steel plate. Here's the O-ring. You know, sometimes these things will pop right out, but maybe the seal is a little swelled up. I'm not sure. It's not moving so fast. Okay. So I got these bolts loose here. All right, these are all the for the extension housing, and then we have another one here with the Loctite that was on top. All right, along that goes in here. I'm gonna get another one out, and now inside. There's four more, and the bottom one here is the different one in here with the darker bolt that has the Loctite on it. So let's see if we can just get these out quick. Little bit more resistance on that. All right, magnet. Okay, let's get the bolts out. And then this one, of course, again, with the Loctite, the others look like this. I honestly don't know the torque spec, I have to look that up. But I know they would want that one a little less than the others. Okay. So here we have a bearing. All right, you can see all the crap here on the extension housing of the water. All right, here is the race through the bearing. All right, we have the parking pole, spring, rod, here. Output shaft part here. Output speed sensor. Okay, this doesn't come with the valve body. All right, there's the bearing. We'll clean that up. Okay. So it'll leave that just like that. Okay, so let's flip this up. I don't think this was drained, so probably all the oil and water mix is going to come out. And again, I have my special bucket under there, so it doesn't really matter. No, I don't want to do it this way. Let's do it this way. Here is the drain here, but again, I'm not sure if it's drained. We'll know once we get the pan down. Floats out. Okay. Yes, it's stuck on there pretty good. Okay, no problem. This up here a little bit. See all the crap coming out, all the water, oil. There is the pan. Okay, now, what we're gonna do, somebody's still blocking traffic out there, I guess. Okay, we're going to disconnect our output speed sensor. Okay. Unbolt it, take it off, put it aside. Okay. Feed this wire through. Okay, here's the output speed sensor. And that output speed sensor bolt. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this valve body off. And it was a 2010. Oh, I have a temp sensor up here. Unless this is it. Not really seeing one. You only have a wire running across, a couple of wires running across, but I'm not seeing it. This is, usually this is a special bolt here. You know, it's kind of like the shoulder, the lineup, because the hole's really small. And you see that one. See these other ones, for instance, have washers on them. Okay, this one is just, it does not. And there is nothing there. So this is like a special bolt for this hole right here. It's kind of like lines everything. We got here, here, and then we get this one, this one, and this one. All right, I believe that is all of them. If we can get this thing, I mean, I drop enough of these things. You know what? Sorry, I missed that one. All right, so actually, I took the wrong bolt out. Sorry about that. So this one goes back in there. So it was these four. All right, so we'll take this out, then we're gonna unplug it from the connector. There we go. All right, a little different setup. I don't really, maybe the temp sensor is incorporated in this setup here, but maybe because it's a 2010, a little bit of a different setup than I'm used to seeing. All right, so here are all your solenoids. Here is your computer, speed sensors, and the output speed sensor. All right, so I'm going to be getting this whole thing with this plug, with this wire harness, everything like this. All right, and then when we get that one, it's pre-programmed, just pop it right in. All right, so let's get this off. This is the servo for the band, and then we got to see how we can get this. I really don't want to pry because this is what the this is where the speed sensors read. But we're going to try to get this, pump out. Okay. Let's see here. We can get this. I just got to put it this way so I can get some leverage here. But I'm just basically squeezing this snap ring. Okay, got it. All right, here it is. And servo, full of crap, return spring. Okay. All right, what I want to try to do here, there's really no threaded holes. And let me see how I can go about getting this pump out. Might just maybe hit it a couple times and keep some pressure on it and see if we can't get this thing to move out. Try here. Let me try something. Right against the shell here. See if I can get the pump to move. Okay, there we go. Got it. I want to get rid of some of this. Okay. All right. So here's the band. The drum rides on. Also houses the third sprig. You got a bearing here. You got a bearing race here, and you got a bearing here. All right. Here is the input drum assembly. And input, actually the input is on at 4th and 5th. All right, so we'll take a look at that. All right, here's the band. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really look that bad, but hey, we got water in here. And we're gonna take the planet set out. And just be careful with this, with bearings, races, you know. I'm going to wash this up, but you know, this kind of just stays together. Ready for it? Okay. Now the sprig in here is the first sprig. Also, bearing and race. Okay. This is the high and low reverse drum. All right, so we have a bearing race here for that, and we have another bearing on this side. Well, actually, it would fit in there because there's a lip on it. This is the direct clutch. All right, now we're going to get the reverse clutch out. Take that snap ring out. Sometimes there may be maybe an anti-rattle clip on this thing. But let's get the snap ring out. Maybe just take the top plate off. You know what? I think I'm looking at the anti-rattle now. Now I'm going to just take the top plate off. Okay. Got splashed a little bit from the snap ring. Pop it out. You know what? Only give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. So the anti-rattle clip is right here in the case, all right? So I guess the best way to describe it, if you have the case, you know, let me just kind of back out and for a second. If you have the case standing up like this, you know, and this facing you, it's going to be around the 10:30 position, you know, because here's about 12 o'clock. So maybe like 11 o'clock position, between 10 and 11 o'clock position. You will see it, and you know, there's a wider space in between the lugs for that to fit down in, and then you would go ahead and fit that in, put the pressure plate on, and snap it. All right, so let's lay this back down. Let me get closer again. Sorry about that. Okay. So we're going to take these out, and here is the clip. So the clip, that's what it looks like. All right, and this is going to kind of face up. So this part will go down, and then this actually sits like in the edge of the anti-rattle clip, you know, kind of like that, and holds it down, and then you put the snap ring in. Okay. So that is the reverse frictions. You know, everything of course looks good, but again, the glue melts the paper here, and these clutches will peel right off. You know, once it gets in, sure, it's fine now, but you know, it's really a time bomb. All right, now we got another snap ring to take out, and this is the snap ring that gets updated because it does tend to pop out. And Superior makes it. I think it's like a super tough. This is pretty flimsy. And you've seen these pop out before. And the other one is much more. See, this is pretty flimsy. So this gets updated, and you got to put it in, you know, with an empty case. You measure it, you cut it, and kind of just like butts up against each other. And that would be an update. Okay, so here is the return spring and seat for that. So that snap ring will get updated. Okay, so now we have bearing. And there's another snap ring there. So what we have to do is take the piston out. Then we got some center support bolts to take out. And another snap ring. So with the water, you know, sometimes those seals swell. But let's see how easy this is going to come out. Alright. Okay, very easy. Alright, here's the snap ring. And when you put it back together, you got to do it the same way. Center support, and then you got to put this in. Alright, so this will sit like this. You line it up. So it goes, you know, through, line this up so it goes through when you push it down. Okay. Is there another snap ring? Jeez, I thought there was. Let me look. You know, this is a little different setup than what I'm normally seeing. Let me just get a light here. Maybe there is no snap ring. Oh, it's there. Yeah, okay. Just can't see it because all the water and crap in there. All right. All right, so let's see if we can get it started and get one behind her. heavy snap ring here. Okay, got it moving. Now we're just gonna work the snap ring out. Heavy snap ring. Okay, here we go. So this is has a bevel on it, and that's going to face up. Flat part will face down. Very, very heavy snap ring. All right, now we got some center support bolts here. We have one here, and one here. Let me get that socket. I forgot to get that ready. Okay, they are torque 45. Okay, they're all the same. Three. Okay. That will allow you to get the center support out. Okay. Now, you see there is nothing here. Okay, sometimes you're going to have a bearing here. This one does not have it. All right, so this is the center support. All right, so we'll put this aside. Now we have two sets of clutches left, the forward clutch and the coast clutch, and the forward sprig. So we're going to go ahead and take the forward sprig out. Okay, and we have a bearing which goes on the case, and then open face bearing here. Now we have a snap ring for the clutches, only one snap ring for both sets. Okay, first, we have the forward. Okay. And then, all right, so we got a dish plate. All right, so it goes in this way, so the dish is going to face up. All right, and then we have the coast. Okay, not bad. Okay, so those, oh, there's another steel. Let's get the steel out. Okay. All right, and we got a, I'm going to put this into the foot press and take the pistons out for the forward and coast. I'm not really going to do that now because I'm very short on time. Just going to kind of look at the clutches. I'm going to clean up a little bit, look at the clutches, open the pump, and that's really about it. Okay. Give me a few minutes and I'll be back. All right, let's take a look at direct clutches. A little, you know, off color dark, but still not bad. functions of the high and low reverse. Okay, yeah, again, just nothing but water, but you know, these molded pistons get ruined with the water also. You know, everything starts coming apart. I'm hoping these pistons don't give me too much of a problem with the swell seals from the water to come out. I can get this thing done fairly quickly. Should have the valve body tomorrow. Okay, so now this we got a snap ring here, and we gotta kind of work it around and lift up on it. Where's my other scribe went? Okay. Then we want to push in and lift up. Up. Just kind of keep some upward pressure on it. Just went back down. Add it. Okay, so we're going to put it back the same way, snapping around. Alright. Ring here. Here is the input to clutch. Again, another balanced piston, molded piston that comes in the banner kit. You also have the bearing here, sealing rings here. Okay, not bad. Seal it out. Okay. Let's take a look at the pump. So we're going to take a look at the body and gears. We've got a 5mm Allen key socket that we're going to be using to separate that. Now we're going to take two. Hopefully it's out enough. All right, pump usually pretty good. Good. I got the body in gears. Okay. So it looks like we have the dot facing up on the outer gear. And the inner gear, pretty much the step. All right, so this is flat. There's a step here, and that's going to face the converter. So, I mean, I guess it would face up, as you call it. Or if you're putting in face down, but however you want to do it, the step has to face the converter. Okay, so that looks good. All right, so it's your typical waterlogged RE5RO5A valve body got coming complete. So I'm going to overhaul this transmission. I have my banner kit. I just got to get my special snap ring for the reverse clutch and get the band. Valve body I'll probably have tomorrow or the next day, but that's just a matter of plopping it on, bolting it down, and she's ready to go. So I really just got to do the drums and stuff, which hopefully that'll go fairly quickly on this transmission. And I actually have another one. I have an 07 Pathfinder, same ordeal. Radiator blew, transmission's full of water. They did the radiator, but due to the cost of the transmission, they took the car off the road for a while, and now they're ready to put it back on the road. So they brought it to us, and we're going to go ahead and do that transmission after this one is complete. So again, we got a 2010 Nissan Pathfinder 4.0 RE5 RO5A blown radiator with we got the mix antifreeze and water in the transmission. Because of that, we did have a code, front brake solenoid P1757, which also is a common code even without water in the transmission, because we've done plenty of valve bodies on these things and they work fine. But this one has water, so we're doing this up. And that's it. So I thank you guys so much and have a great day. We'll see you next one.